Why should you visit thechairshot.com? Thechairshot.com is your home for hard-hitting reviews, news, opinion, and analysis with attitude. Why? Because you're smarter than the average fan. Thechairshot.com. Always use your head.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, this is your Twitterless heroine, ring announcer to the stars, the most professional podcaster, and most importantly, the queen of soft style, Miranda Morales. And I'm your host of the hashtag Miranda Show, which you can find as part of the Shot Radio Network on Chairshot.com.
Chairshot.com. Always use your head.
Thechairshot.com. Always use your head.
Yes. Doesn't that sound good the second round? Not that you guys know that, but hey, I pull back the curtain. I'm not going to be here, be proud, and be like, yes, I did in one take. No, did not. But hey, I'm still so glad to be with all of you this week. Full disclosure, having some technical difficulties. Started even yesterday before this podcast, before any podcast, experienced them during the Greg DeMarco show and probably going to have some today. But you know what? That's just the way the world works. So we just roll with punches. We're going to keep on going because we got some great topics for you today. It's Miranda Morales being joined by the kingpin of the Chairshot.com, my best friends. My other best friend doesn't listen to this show.
She should.
She's still my best. She should. But
Send her one. Send her one. Send her last week. Be like, listen to this.
Just listen to this.
Other
but now I
best
feel
friend.
like, well, now if I told her, it'd be like, so I did say I have another best friend. She'd be like, and who? That's when she'll start listening. To be like, oh, hell no. No, she's not that competitive. But anyways, I'm introducing you. DeMarco.
You are introducing me. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, my co-host.
That introduction.
Wild card, bitches! Yeah!
Totally derailed the episode last week. Never played the wild card bitches soundbite. Now that I think about it.
No, well, because it was already. It was beyond the wild card bitches soundbite.
It was.
Really, by that point, it was beyond wild card bitches. Yeah.
It was beyond anything imaginable whatsoever, and it was absolutely amazing.
It was great. Yes.
Thank you. I'm here.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for another edition of the hashtag Miranda Show. I found out what we're doing 5 minutes ago, so I'm really
that's a good sign. Some days I'm actually super ambitious and I'll let Greg know ahead of time. But
sometimes we talk. Sometimes you're like, hey, what do you think about this? Like, we plan.
Yeah.
Right? What? We plan.
Sometimes. I've been in much of a planning mode recently, and there's still lots going on. Specifically on this week's show, we're going to be talking about something happening this Sunday. I'll let you know more in a second. We'll get more into it, and also something that happened yesterday as we're recording this. By the time you hear it, it's going to be earlier in this week. Something just crazy. Before we get to that, though, we need to let you know where you can find us on social media, because you're on social media. I know it. You know it. So go ahead and follow us. Me, myself, Miranda Morales, I'm on Instagram and Facebook, not on Twitter, because I'm the Twitterless heroine. Literally the first thing I just said. Even though I'm still being convinced to have a Twitter.
By who?
Someone, dear friend from Big Gold Belt Media, Najir Chambers, today is trying to convince me to get a Twitter. If there was enough people who commented, or if I get some responses on our Impact on Access TV video cast that we do, that's on YouTube. Let's check that out at Big Gold Belt Media. If I get some feedback on the comments, that's what he said. Tell Miranda to get a Twitter. He did feel a little bad after saying that, but it's still many a men have tried to convince me to get a Twitter, and no one has been successful yet. So,
but here, your best friend, one of two, is fully supportive of you not having a Twitter.
Well, yes, of course, but it's also you made the biggest deal in the world of me not having a Twitter.
I did.
Yeah.
But then you got an Instagram. Like this was even this started before the Instagram. Like I remember the creation of the Instagram. And
it's just over a year ago now, actually.
It is.
The Instagram is about a year old. So, hey, and it's been good to me. I have to say, I've been enjoying Instagram. It's been a lot of fun. I see lots of great content every day, lots of cool videos, lots of great wrestling content, even news. Instagram is a good place.
Twitter is just and apropos, Miranda has frozen, but and she looks like she's mixing music right now. But she'll be back in a second, I'm sure. Twitter is horrible. Like Twitter is just a cesspool, and I'm on there. I tweeted something the other day, and it was like the first time in 5 days, and I didn't miss it. And so, yeah, Miranda, you know what? The takeover coming up soon. Maybe you can take over the Chairshot Twitter again. That's like once every few months. Seems about right.
It's bad, but it definitely stresses.
Got about a half a sentence out right there. That was good. Got about half a sentence out of you. It definitely stresses. I'm sure you talked about how Twitter stresses you out. You're still learning the hashtags. You're still learning how to. Oh, now it's just me. It's the Greg DeMarco show version of the hashtag Miranda show, which means I might have to resend her the invite. We'll get her back in and make sure that she is able to come back in and do that. So pulling back the curtain now, we're going to be communicating while I am doing show stuff because I'm not going to edit this. I'm going to keep it going. So I'm just gonna send old Miranda a text now.
I gotta go full screen.
Oh, she's back. Okay,
I'm back. I can't. Anyways,
do me a favor.
I warned you. I warned you. I warned the listeners. I warned the viewers. This may happen, and we're gonna go with it.
I just told you to check your text message, but then I was able to tell you don't need to adjust what I just told you to adjust. You're fine.
No, I know because I fixed it this is my job, Greg.
I know, but then it booted you, and maybe it got unfixed. Oh. And so, maybe it was the Wednesday version of the refrigerator where I couldn't bring it home, not the Friday version of the refrigerator where I brought the damn thing home. Like, who knows? Who the fuck knows?
You bring up a good point. If you want to see the stories of Greg and his fifth refrigerator, I don't know how many refrigerators you have.
You know how many I have.
Look, it doesn't matter how many refrigerators that you have. You have more than the average person.
It doesn't matter. Did you say it doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't.
No, you're right.
Clearly doesn't how many you have. But anyways, if you want to follow the tales of Greg and his multiple refrigerators, you can follow him at Chairshot Greg on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And also, if you want to follow the Chairshot.com, of course, it is a wonderful website for wrestling news, analysis, and opinions. And not just wrestling, actually, lots of entertainment and sports. You can find that on thechairshot.com.
Thechairshot.com. Always use your head.
But you can
follow it. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry. My bad. Shit. Wait, hang on. I need to play something for myself. You ready? I'm going to play something for myself.
You know your damn role and shut your damn mouth.
Carry on.
Thank you, Rock, Dwayne Johnson, for that. You can follow the Chairshot at Chairshot Media on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You can get connected to news articles and drops of latest podcasts from the Chairshot Radio Network. So go ahead and follow us on the socials, on the social medias, on the pages, whatever the kids call it these days. Go ahead and follow us because we got some good content out there for you. And of course, you can get a little sneak peek into the lives of myself, Miranda Morales, and Greg DeMarco. Another thing that you can do while we're here, while I'm talking about it, while we're just in here chatting, having a good time, you should also go to prowrestlingtees.com/thechairshot and get your very own Chairshot t-shirt. I mean, really, it's a wonderful place with over 25 different t-shirt designs, all just for, you get it, you get it, yeah. So there you can find different t-shirt designs, of course, supporting thechairshot.com. Lots of great logos like Chairshot Worldwide, the Chairshot Corona t-shirt, the OG logo, literally one of my favorites. Multiple Always Use Your Head t-shirts, and of course t-shirts supporting some of the podcasts, including Everybody Hates Greg, which I don't know what podcast that supports. I think that just supports like a fandom, a movement, really.
Or anti-fandom, or basically hatred of me.
There's a fan base that doesn't like Greg. And that's fine, because we'll take your money. Don't worry about it. If you want to rep hating Greg, we got a shirt for you. If you want to
Please do.
Please do. Yeah. You like Greg, well, then you can buy any of the shirts. If you like me, little old me, well, you can get your Queen of Soft Style t-shirt. And we have it for you in soft style, because that's how much I care. I would never.
Wait. Are you telling me you can get a Queen of Soft Style t-shirt in soft style? That's just, I can't believe we do that for people. I just can't.
I know. You know what? I would not put my name on a t-shirt without having it in soft style. There's just no way I would support a brand.
Damn sure I wouldn't buy one not in soft style. That's true.
Hey, you can get this soft style t-shirt with sleeves or without sleeves. Did you know that, Greg? No, you didn't know. No, you didn't. Because then why would you be insinuating that I did not get my own shirt in soft style? I got it actually in two-way soft style. I got it without the sleeves and with the sleeves. I just don't happen to know where the one without the sleeve is right now. But so I got the one with sleeves, and it is what it is. But we take care of you, the listeners, the viewers of the hashtag Miranda Show. So make sure to go to prowrestlingtees.com/thechairshot to get your very own Chairshot t-shirt today. That is prowrestlingtees.com/thechairshot to get your very own t-shirt today.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hey folks, PC Tony here. Thanks to our new partnership with Angry Lemonade, you can save 10% on physical products and digital commissions using the promo code Chairshot. Head to angrylemonade.net to check out their amazing catalog of products and services. Use the promo code Chairshot to save 10%. That's angrylemonade.net.
Are you looking for the newest and hottest in the world of pro wrestling? Then check out the amazing action on Powerslam.tv, the biggest indie pro wrestling channel in the world. Get over 6,000 hours of the best events from over 150 of your favorite promotions from 20 different countries around the globe. Brands like Progress Wrestling, Evolve Wrestling, Combat Zone, Defy, PCW Ultra, PWX, Over the Top, Shine, and hundreds of others with fresh content added every day for only $5.99 per month. Get your free trial today at Powerslam.tv.
That's over 150 of your favorite promotions found exclusively at Powerslam.tv. So go to Powerslam.tv and you'll get a free week. But if you use the promo code Chairshot, you will get a free month. Now, a month is only $6, but why not try it out and see if you like it first? And do it on us. Go to Powerslam.tv, promo code Chairshot, get your free month. Again, that's Powerslam.tv, promo code Chairshot.
Thechairshot.com. Always use your head. Thechairshot.com. Always use your head.
Played the wrong one, so I played it twice.
You played the wrong. It was the same one twice.
There you go, okay. Amber. Just for Amber, Chris Platt.
You're welcome.
Amber refuses to ever appear on a Chairshot program again since she recorded that soundbite, but she forever lives in infamy.
She forever does. Yes. Well, I wouldn't say infamy. I would say that it's in history. I mean,
I was like, so would the opposite of infamy be for me? Like, I don't know.
I don't know. This is where a dictionary would come in handy.
That was like the show 2 weeks ago. We can't go back.
Exactly. That last time I actually, used a dictionary was to look up the word jabroni, and I haven't needed to use it since, and actually refused to use the dictionary again until another wrestling-related term gets included into it. So I'm actually boycotting the dictionary right now, Greg. So I think maybe Urban Dictionary is my next best resource.
Maybe. You got a master's degree. You don't need a dictionary. Like,
exactly. I have a master's degree.
People understand the education behind this program. There are 2 master's degrees on your screen.
Master's degrees. 2 degrees. This could be one of the smartest podcasts.
Got degrees in business, communications, and multiple degrees in education sitting right here in front of you, talking about professional wrestling.
Yes, so but I also have really good hair too. So really, I have a lot going on for me. Yeah, that's. You
do.
That's really what I tell myself every morning when I wake up.
Edification is very, very important.
That also was established. Look, y'all need to listen to part of the Greg DeMarco show. By part of it, I mean all of it, because I was also established that I am really living real life American Horror Story.
Yes.
That I only exist in this house. This is murder house right now, and almost with Roanoke. I'm not sure. And if none of you know what I'm talking about, just go watch American Horror Story. There's some seasons that you can absolutely skip. You can actually skip kind of the first season, but it's actually really, really important. You do not want to miss Asylum. You need to watch Asylum. Coven is great. Freak Show's all right. Yeah.
I'm taking notes.
Roanoke is pretty decent. Kind of weird. Hotel is great if you like real freaky things. Loving it. 84 is great. 1984 is great. Apocalypse. There's all aspects of American Horror Story. But talking about Murder House, I think I only exist in this house because I'm in it all the time and my internet doesn't work and people can't see me. So that was also established. And also I'm dead inside. So that too was also established.
That did come up as well. Yes, I can confirm that came up. The rest of it, well, you're just going to have to listen to 3 bad motherfuckers to find out.
Some of the baddest motherfuckers on the planet are on that plane.
Let's just be honest. Let's just call a spade a spade. Can you even put Patrick O'Dowd in the bad motherfucker category? Like,
I think he's like an adorable motherfucker. Like
he's like a softie, and I just can't.
He's so cute. He's just so adorable.
He's like a little old man, even though he's not old. Like it's just.
Yeah, little old man. Just like him a hug. He'll fight the hug. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to hug me. He does not want to hug me. He'll like keep his hands. He won't want to hug me, but he'll hug me.
You can keep thinking that, but he's actually a hugger.
See, he puts this tough facade in front of me,
Does he,
very tough. Yes, he does. He puts a very tough exterior in front of me. Like
I see right through it, apparently.
He keeps me at arm's length. Really, that's been the dynamic of this, my relationship.
Well, because he thought you were trying to steal his best friend.
I'm not trying to steal nothing. If I wanted to steal something, I steal it, okay? Once I set my mind to something, I'm going to do it, all right, Patrick? But also, I like Patrick, too. I want to be best friends with Patrick, too. And he just keeps me at arm's length. He's the best friend.
Yeah, there's only so much Patrick to go around. That's just the way it is.
Okay, guys. But that's okay. Maybe one day Patrick O'Dowd will be best friends with me. We will see. We still got a long ways to go. We've been doing this now for, oh my gosh, it will be 2 years coming up soon.
2 years since you first appeared on the Greg DeMarco show. Yeah. But then, I had a car accident. Patrick we had like a layoff, not a layoff. Yeah. So we had a layoff. That's something different.
Yes, things got laid up. People have
time off.
Things happen.
And things happen. And why are we talking about these things? You have 2 topics today, and we're 20 minutes into the show.
I was going to, and then you rudely interrupted me. So, gosh, Greg, wow. Really
now it's back to being my fault again. That's just.
Yes, of course.
It's been a while.
It's a hobby for me to blame men for all my problems.
It's
literally, true. I may have a master's degree in many things, but that's the master's degree I really have in. So, there you go. We do have wrestling-related topics this week. Actually, 2 good ones. There are both WWE-centric, so if you don't like WWE, stop hate watching it. I know you. I see you. It's okay.
All of them. Everybody
hate watches it. I've hate watched it. And that's okay. But this Sunday, which is September.
Doesn't matter.
Do you remember? This Sunday, September 27th, WWE presents Clash of Champions, and that means every title is being defended. I wanted to review some of the matches that I'm highly anticipating. We're not going to go over all of them, but some of the matches that I'm looking forward to the most, plus some matches that I'm just like, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? So I'm really hitting the ends of the spectrum in this Clash of Champions preview. So first, let's do the good news. What are the matches that I'm most excited about? And some of them are what most people are excited about as well, and some of the bigger stories. But there's also one in there that we talked about last week that we got some clarity on that I'm very excited about. So we're going to get into it. We're going to start with Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton, champion Drew McIntyre. He will be facing Randy Orton, defending the WWE Championship in an ambulance match. Now, this has been a program we've been seeing really for months, ever since, the results of WrestleMania. McIntyre has had some programs in between, and has some great matches with Keith Lee on Raw. Randy Orton, too, has been kind of working his way through different stories. But one of the best stories, really, of this pandemic era has been Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton. And it kind of does seem fitting that they're escalating their feud to another level. Now, some could wonder, if this is really going to be a moment where we're going to see maybe a stop in their program. We're going to have this chapter close. Or could,
All right, frozen moment here. Oh, wait, she's back. Go ahead, continue.
Not sure if we're getting Hell in a Cell. It was originally advertised, but I think one could wonder that you could end up seeing this match again at Hell in a Cell. But the ambulance match does make it seem like we're going to see something big happen with this feud, specifically a chance that Randy Orton will actually win the WWE Championship from Drew McIntyre in a way that helps, quote unquote, Drew stay strong, but also maybe continue the story so that Drew can have the chase, and maybe it is just for a short term, but maybe win it back fairly soon. But I'm not the biggest Randy Orton fan. We talked about even just doing a topic on this show one day of maybe, things that we think are overrated, or aspects of wrestling that are overrated, or fandoms that we don't get. I've just not been a fan of Randy Orton in general. I respect him. However, I've really loved his role in this dynamic with Drew McIntyre. And I can see why this is kind of the next step in the evolution in their program. And I kind of see this as probably being the chance that we see a title change. And Randy Orton comes out, the new WWE champion. Greg, what do you feel like we're also going to be seeing that, or do you feel like Drew's going to retain?
So if you think about what's been going on in WWE and what's coming up over the next few months, we're only 2 months away from Survivor Series, where, it's probably a good place to put Retribution in a match against some people from Raw and do all of that. And an ambulance match, well, sure as heck doesn't really have a whole lot of rules now, does it? And, outside of you got to put your opponent in the ambulance and shut the door. This, to me, seems like a prime opportunity for Retribution to get involved and cost old Drew McIntyre said WWE Championship, thus keeping him strong, as you said earlier, and allowing Sir Randall of Orton to become a 14-time world champion, well on his way to breaking the record established by Ric Flair and John Cena, because I don't think Randy Orton's overrated, and thus think he should be the first person to get to 17 title reigns. But no, I think this is a perfect opportunity to let Retribution do this. They're under contract now. I don't know what that really does to the story. We talked to, impromptu on the Greg DeMarco show about how stupid some of that is. We're going to talk about it here too. But I do think it's a great opportunity to get Retribution involved and cost Drew McIntyre the WWE Championship. Doesn't mean he'll be out of the title picture. I think after Survivor Series, he can then get himself back into the title picture very easily. And Randy Orton's, living his best life, doing his best work. So I think this is a good time for Orton to be that champion. He could even do a program with Keith Lee right now. That's been set up. I mean, there's a lot they can do, and then go back to Drew McIntyre, hopefully when there are fans, and continue that. So that is, those are my thoughts.
Next, we have, speaking of Retribution, who came in on SmackDown, and did whatever they do over there as well, which I don't know. This whole is really to us, given our opinions about Retribution.
Dumb
we
shit.
have Roman Reigns, Universal Champion, facing his cousin, Jey Uso. Jey got this opportunity back on September 4th on SmackDown when he won a 4-way match between actually it wasn't out. Let me take a step back. There was a fatal 4-way. Jey Uso won that. Originally, he was supposed to be in that. He was taken out by Sheamus, and then Uso stepped in and won, setting him to face his cousin for the Universal Championship. And this pretty much now the first offense Roman Reigns, since he's won the Universal Champion, since he's made himself the advocate, Paul Heyman. And, they've had an interesting run with this, really playing on the family dynamic between Jey and Roman. Really, this is real life family part of the wrestling dynasty. And really also playing on Roman Reigns is, I think almost trying to see if the old Roman Reigns is peek through love of family, and that's still kind of being the case, but ultimately Roman Reigns is doing what Roman is all about, and that taking his championship and leaving. This time I'm actually more interested in going to be when Jey won at 4 and became number one contender. I was surprised, but also having low expectations for this program, just because I didn't know what to expect. But I really have liked Flourish Zone.
And we have, maybe we don't have Frozen Miranda. We do have Frozen Miranda.
Let it go.
She's back. She was back. She's not back. She's back. Fuck. Okay, let's try.
For the rest of my life. This is Murder House. This is Murder House. And this is the clip I use to advertise the show, is me constantly repeating, Missing Murder House. People are like, what in the hell happened? And I'll be like, that's a good question.
Yes,
What?
Let's not have your
happened?
best friend listen to this version of the show. Let's have her listen to last week.
This is what happens when Sadie's not around.
God damn it, Sadie. Get in the frame. Let me
Sadie! Sadie. She's not coming.
She can't hear you because no one can hear you but you and me.
Oh, it's the murder. So animals are not affected by murder. I don't know. I have to go back and check. Murder, yeah. She's literally not coming. I don't know her. Wow. She's really neglected me. Anyways, going back to Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. Oh, she's right there. She's right here all
She's like,
along.
bitch, I'm down here. And you're like, you call it a bitch, bitch. Yeah.
Roman Reigns and Jey Uso.
Yes.
Roman Reigns. That's, again, I'm wanting to have a little bit more direction with Jey Uso, a little just more definitive perspective from his character. And we went into a whole conversation about heroes and villains and faces and heels on this week's Greg DeMarco show. However, this one, I feel like, yes, Roman Reigns is very much almost in a gray area where his actions could be viewed as villainous, but also his intentions seem very heroic as someone who's just, doing what he does best. I mean, when he first came back, he talked about, doing what was best for his family, for himself, and taking time, and now aligning with Paul Heyman, in order to get his career back, not even just to get his career back on track, but just to have someone to help advocate for him. And in reality, too, when you look at the things that Roman's done in the past, he did a lot of the right things and got nowhere. So what's the incentive of being a good guy when, maybe being a villain is a little, gets you where you want. I'd like a little bit more definition from Jey Uso, though. That is one part, as someone who really likes storytelling, I wish I would get. But overall, this is making me excited to watch this match. I think the dynamic will play out in the ring very well. I think it will be a really entertaining match. But ultimately, Jey Uso is going to realize that they may be family, but business is business.
100%. And that's, so sometimes we like to do what should happen versus what will happen. I would love Jey to have the performance of a lifetime against Roman Reigns. Still lose, Roman give him the fist bump at the end, and this head us down to the road of the eventual, Roman Empire, Samoan Dynasty stable. What will happen is that Roman's going to solidify himself as the villain by absolutely destroying his family member, who will still put up a good fight early, but then Roman's going to go off and maybe even lose by disqualification, but still beat the ever-living piss out of Jey Uso to the point where you probably won't see Jey Uso again until Jimmy comes back in January and they're both on Raw, because you got to, at that point, keep them away from Roman Reigns. And then Roman will continue down the road of arrive, whatever, and leave. And that's fine too. It's all because it's about Roman. It's not about Jey Uso. You talked about how you want more definition from Jey Uso. Let me give it to you. Still a tag team guy. That's the definition of Jey Uso. Yeah, he's getting a world title match on a WWE pay-per-view, and that's great because there's no audience and it's a captive audience, and the main event's probably going to be the ambulance match. But Jey Uso's a tag team guy. Jey Uso's going to be. I would love to see him in the Intercontinental title picture. I think he could totally carry the Intercontinental Championship. It's obviously not going to happen because they're doing what they're doing, and Jimmy's supposed to come back in January. So I think this is a short-term program. I think it's going to be used to define Roman Reigns, and then Jey will go back to being what Jey is, and that's a tag team wrestler. But this is still a great opportunity for Jey to shine, and I think he will get that shine.
Yes.
Roman's beating the hell out of him.
Oh, yes. And talking about solidifying Roman as a villain, as a heel, I mean, a lot of roads lead back to the Shield and that whole dynamic and that whole history, because really Roman was very much kind of on his own after the breakup, and even tried to, did his best to try and bring Seth and Dean together, because they really were the ones that had that tension through that. But I think that if there was some way that they were all together now, maybe this would be telling the same story with different people. That I think in order to solidify him in this new role, we have to see him kind of break down his past, break down elements of the old him in order to really establish the new him. So I feel like that purpose is still being met with this match with Jey Uso, and again, the family dynamic that they've really been pushing. But you're absolutely right. This is really more, I think Jey will have a great match. I think it's going to elevate him as a professional wrestler, maybe even in a singles run for a while. But this is really about just establishing Roman Reigns as the top, not only just top guy on SmackDown, top guy in WWE, but just like the top, and we play around with these terms, villain, really, and I think that's awesome. Well, why not make an example by using real life family dynamics? So very big fan of this, and one that I actually started off low expectations, pretty high now. What's
more villainous than beating the crap out of your family member?
Yeah.
I mean, even though people do that privately, like brothers fight or whatever, and sisters fight and brothers and sisters fight, I see it all the time in my own house. But it's to professionally do it, like that's some dastardly bullshit. And that's what a villain would do. And that's what, could establish Roman Reigns in that role. Putting up a good fight, fist bumping your cousin after the match because he took it, further than you thought. That's what a hero does. But I think Roman's a villain. And I think this is, and because it's going to be
everything with the old Roman Reigns needs to go away. Like
It is.
And
It is.
and
He
so
did an
this
interview.
he
He did an
just has
interview,
to wait.
and he's not going to wrestle with the vest on Sunday.
Good.
And I think the only thing from the old Raymond that's going to Raymond, I don't know how he became Raymond Reigns. The only thing about the old Roman that's going to exist are the pants, from what I understand. Like, he's getting new music eventually. He's going to stop. You know, he really worked to improve his physique so he doesn't have to wrestle with the vest on. And
he has new teeth.
Yeah, he has new teeth, probably some new ink that we'll see more of. So, yeah, #Roman.
The last match I wanted to talk about as far as the positive ones that I'm really excited about is one that was just made earlier this week. Asuka, the Raw Women's Champion, will be facing Zelina Vega. And this actually came after Zelina Vega slapped the taste out of Asuka's mouth after her match with Mickie James 2 weeks ago. And then this past week, Zelina Vega won the opportunity to face Asuka after beating Mickie James. And to me, I know that there was a lot of hoopla online about the ending of the Mickie James Asuka match from 2 weeks ago. I feel like this was actually a great way to kind of go full circle with still addressing the ending of that match, giving Zelina an opportunity to showcase her skill and really having her, earn that opportunity to face Zelina. But this too has come with Zelina taking a break from Andrade and Angel Garza. Those boys are going to be boys. She's tired of that. She decided to pursue and put her energy into herself. And the fact that she went straight to the top, she didn't dilly-dally around, she didn't go, detour. She went straight past go, collected her $200 and say, I'm here for it. So this match itself makes me really excited. I mean, kind of on the same level as Jay and Roman. It's not one where we expect Zelina Vega to win, but she can have a fantastic match. And as someone we don't really see wrestle frequently, it's almost like, it's a rarity, but it's also something special when we see Zelina in the ring. And also her character work, just her nuances as really, I mean, she too is, though, straight up villainous, with, I mean, but in the most beautiful form, like a villainess that you ain't even mad at. Yeah, she's a heel villain, but like you ain't even mad at it though. Like I get, like Andrade and Angel could not get their ish together, and so I get where she's like, I'm tired, I'm done with you, I'm gonna focus on myself. I mean, I think it's smart strategizing on her part, and I really am very interested to see the dynamic. I mean, overall, Asuka is much more known to be the stronger wrestler, but I do think that the things that Zelina can do in order to, again, maybe play mind games, get into Asuka's head, even, trick her in some instances, will be really entertaining. Now, this is on the pre-show, so that is a little bit of a bummer, but you do see a stacked card with women on the show as well. But again, I would switch this honestly with another one of the matches that I'll be talking about in a second. But this is one, when this was announced and this was made official for Clash of Champions, I was on it, I was for it, and I'm excited for it.
And interesting. So, one of the things that I've always praised Miranda for privately is she does a ton of research for her show. That's why you hear her list dates and things like that. I did some research of my own. And Zelina Vega, approaching 3 years in WWE, has wrestled a total of 30 matches in the 3 years that she's been in the company, which is not a lot if you consider the TV, the touring, and all that. And barely did any in NXT outside of a couple of Battle Royals. And, she's been in a couple of Royal Rumbles. Like, some of those are even matches that, quote unquote, maybe don't count. But she has excelled as a performer. Do I expect her to win? No, I don't expect her to win. In fact, I'm going to jump ahead a little bit, and maybe you're going to talk about this match. Maybe you won't. It would make sense if you do in your next thing. I think the roles are going to be reversed. And when Andrade and Angel Garza are the Raw Tag Team Champions, she's going to be trying to get them back. And they're not going to be so sure because they're going to have won them without her. So I think the roles are going to be reversed, but I think that'll all be reset and they'll be back together as one happy family soon enough. But it's great that she's getting this opportunity, and maybe she doesn't get it with the pandemic and people can see she's better suited, not as a wrestler. I think we can all agree with that, but she's a better wrestler than people give her credit for. She was a better wrestler in TNA than people give her credit for, and she's a better wrestler now than people give her credit for. And I think she will get the opportunity to shine. And knowing what we know about Asuka, the person, I bet Asuka wants to go out there and show the world how good Zelina Vega is. And on, people talk about on the kickoff, off the kickoff. Look, dude, the kickoff has way more distribution than the WWE Network does. There's a good chance more people are going to see that match than see the pay-per-view itself. So I'm okay with her being on the kickoff. And remember, the kickoff is designed to sell pay-per-view. So if they put you on the kickoff, they are trusting you with that marketing portion of the show. And they're trusting Zelina Vega, and they trust her with a lot, and they should. She has been one of the stars of this pandemic, and she was a shining star before it, but it really gave her the spotlight, especially when they were low on people, and she had to carry like an hour of Raw with her stable back for a while there at the Performance Center. So I love she's getting this opportunity, and I know she's going to make the most of it, even though she ain't going to win.
And another aspect of being part of the kickoff show that could be a sign that this is not a one and done. A lot of times when you have a match on the kickoff show, it's because they're going to continue to have this match in some capacity later on, whether we see it on Raw or SmackDown or at another pay-per-view in the future. So that is actually a good sign that this may not be just her one opportunity, that something will happen and she'll be allotted another opportunity. And in that case, likely that match would be as part of the main show. But that's also a good sign that they have long-term plans for this. It does feel kind of rushed because this came together in 2 weeks. But at the same time, really, what else do you really need to say? A lot of what Zelina did was, again, the nonverbal. She went up to Asuka and smacked her. Well, I mean, that's really, in its most simplest form, a very clear challenge. So, I know that's very short time frame, but do you really need that much more?
You don't. People
really
overthink it sometimes. It was simple. Go in there, smack Asuka. Asuka, of course, is going to want retribution, and then we book the match and we put it together, and it just keep it simple. It's fine, it works, and I think it's gonna be really good, and I'm excited about it. And so good.
Now, 2 matches I'm not so thrilled about, and mainly because these are redos. These are matches that we've seen over and over and over and over again. But I think that these are 2 different explanations, so I get that there's a bigger picture for them. But again, I had to balance this a little bit, because the other matches on the card were things that I think were still interesting, but these 2 popped out to me as redos. So you mentioned it right now. We just talked about it. For the Raw Tag Team Championships, we have the Street Profits defending their titles against Andrade and Angel Garza. Again. The only aspect I need for this to happen is we get new champions.
Absolutely.
Like, this story has gone on for too long without any title changes, without any that's the only reasonable explanation that I'm coming up with. The only reasonable solution to this story is change the damn titles, or do not give me this match.
I agree 100%. And I think they will. If I were to make a prediction, I would say that Andrade and Angel Garza are going to win the Raw Tag Team Championships. And then we get the story of them, whether or not they want to be realigned with Zelina Vega, which I think is good storytelling, because it puts reverses the roles and puts the shoe on the other foot. Also, I think something's going to happen. And we talked about it a little bit last week on your show, and we came up with some percentages. Long term, I fully think that Rey and Dominic Mysterio will be WWE, probably Raw Tag Team Championships champions at some point. Well, they're the heroes. The belts need to be on villains for that to really make the most sense. Andrade and Angel Garza, definitely villains.
Perfect. Could be perfect.
Probably doesn't happen at WrestleMania. I could see it happening like Royal Rumble or TLC, but I think this is a step in the direction of getting the titles to Rey and Dominic Mysterio, and that'll be Dominic.
And that would just be such a good lucha feud. Like, just that part of me would it'd just be perfect. Yeah. So let's. I'm trying to stay calm, Greg. I'm trying to stay calm. I'm thinking about this match, and I'm trying to stay calm. If that is not the direction we go in, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
So I guess I'm with you. I agree with you 100%, but it can be saved if they do the right thing. So
do the right thing.
I know.
WWE.
Can you do that again, but clap?
Do the right thing.
Yes, thank you.
But I was so angry. That's why I had to hit the table.
I know. You had to pound. You had to pound instead, or you had to hashtag instead? Sorry, that's a throwback to last week's show too. I know you guys listen to this show. AEW listens. We've seen it, right? We got proof. So I'm imploring you right now.
Yeah. Also, the Russians listen to this.
Yes. Well, they listen to everything. Your dogs listen. Your other best friend does not listen. Patrick doesn't listen.
Patrick doesn't listen. He doesn't want to be my best friend either.
Lots of other people listen. But I'm telling you, WWE, we implore you, put the belts on Andrade and Angel Garza. Otherwise, don't do this match.
Don't do this. Don't do this match.
That is all.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening to our TED Talk.
Yes.
The other redo that we have, and this one I know is very much a bigger picture, but we have Bayley, who's, of course, the SmackDown Women's Champion, going up against Nikki Cross. Now, again, a redo. We've seen this match lots of times for this title, but I understand that there's, two different stories happening. Really, this match is happening so Sasha Banks come after the match and beat the crap out of Bayley. Like her getting her vengeance or retribution.
Ain't never gonna die. Never gonna die.
Yes. Getting her retribution against Bayley, who has attacked her not once but twice. So that's my anticipation. Is this match is really? I think it could be a great match. We also still have this dynamic happening between Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss. That's still kind of simmering. So hopefully this is the completion of this Nikki Cross Bayley program, and they stop their own respective feuds. And really, I'm just in it to see Sasha come out and beat the crap out of Bayley.
I think that's what most people are in it for, and I think that's what's going to happen. And I'm okay with this one. I really am. I actually didn't think this is the one you're going to pick, so I'm on board with it. I thought you were going to pick Bobby Lashley versus Apollo, but
I was tempted. But you know what? I'm not mad at that. At first,
and I would have defended it.
Kind of. Yes, yeah, I'm not that mad. Damn it, the Hurt Business, man. I get damn, they're so good. Yes, with Apollo and Bobby Lashley, we've seen that before. Now with the business, I don't see anything changing. I see Bobby retaining, and maybe the Hurt Business grows. Do you think the Hurt Business could get so big it gets to the low territory where too many people join?
No, I don't think
if they incorporate Apollo and Ricochet.
No, because you really teeter on two things right there. Number one, too many people. Number two, it becomes racial. And you don't want either of those things to happen. If I were to add a fifth person to the Hurt Business, it would be a woman at this point. I would not add.
That's true, yeah.
Because I would love to see, we talked about it before, I'd love to see Nia Jax in the Hurt Business.
Yes, that would be great. Definitely not, trying to apply anything racial. I think it was more of the fact that, they are putting so much attention, just like they did with Cedric, is because they were trying to recruit. They believed enough in these individuals to want to have them see the ways of the Hurt Business. So
I mean, I don't want to add a fifth member, but I think it would be so good for Ricochet. I really do. To turn heel, to have that heel characteristics to him and become a villain at the same time. and maybe still kind of be the babyface of the group, even though he's a villain, because he's Ricochet.
Yeah.
Like, you can't help but smile and be happy.
Yeah.
I just feel like he needs, and look, we've talked about it before. WWE is a booking cycle. Okay, you've got to ride the ups and the downs. Ricochet he's a two-time, like a I think at least once, maybe twice, United States champion. Right? He got to wrestle at WrestleMania 35 right after coming up to the main roster. Like, he's had plenty of opportunity, and people only look at the past 2 months when they evaluate somebody. And he'll have his chances again. Ricochet is the kind of guy who could have a Rey Mysterio world title run, 100%, and probably will. Okay, probably will. So his time will come. So I'm not. It's just you got to ride the ups and the downs of WWE booking. That's how you're successful in the company. Look at Drew McIntyre. Ride the ups, ride the downs. It's going to work out for you. Look at Braun Strowman. But man, it would be really cool if he was in the Hurt Business. Like, even though I'm contradicting everything I just said.
Yeah, you're just going back. I didn't even have to hashtag Miranda right to you. You did it on your own. Is this almost like Stockholm syndrome? Is that what we?
I mean, you've already talked about the weirdness of your home anyway. So yeah, who knows? But we can retroactively pretend that it was the hashtag Miranda rights.
Yes, there you go. So Clash of Champions this Sunday. It's going to be on the WWE Network. Let us know your thoughts. Feel free to reach out to us on social media. What matches are you the most excited for? What are your thoughts, especially on the matches that we talked about? Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso for the Universal Championship. Drew McIntyre defending his championship, the WWE Championship, against Randy Orton in an ambulance match. Asuka defending the Raw Women's Championship against Zelina Vega. And, of course, the redos. And hopefully the finals, the duns, the no mores, the
until Raw today.
Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me.
If Andrade and Angel win the titles on Sunday, I'm okay with them beating Street Profits again on Monday. I really am.
Yes.
Especially if it advances the story of Zelina trying to get back with them. Can I say one thing about Clash of Champions? Can I interject one more item? Because I know they're listening, and I want to. I am fully aware this show is either going to end with Drew McIntyre or Randy Orton or Roman Reigns holding a title above their head. Like, I am fully aware that's how the show is going to end. But this, to me, is the perfect show to end with Jeff Hardy standing on the top of the ladder holding the Intercontinental Championship above his head. If I were WWE, I would go with a little crazy match order, and I would close this show with the ladder match between Sami Zayn, AJ Styles, and Jeff Hardy, which is – no one's talking about this match. It's probably going to be, for lack of a better term, phenomenal. And these three guys are going to deliver in that element so well. They're going to play their characters, but also deliver in the ring. And if I were them, Jeff Hardy, the Intercontinental Championship, we talked about it a month ago or whenever when we rated the titles. It's basically a third world title in WWE. Mm-hmm. Jeff Hardy is basically a third world champion in WWE right now. Yeah. And I think that match, I just can't help but think that's probably the match that should close the show. It won't, but I think it should.
No. Yeah, let us know on social media your thoughts. Again, me, Miranda Morales, add to the hashtag Miranda. You can get Greg at Chairshot Greg, or add to the Chairshot social media at Chairshot Media. With that, we got some bills to pay, Greg, so go ahead and play that song. Not a song. It's commercials.
Lucha-Masks.com by Pro Wrestling Revolution, bringing you, in partnership with Mask Republic, the Lucha Brothers, as well as Japanese legend Ultimo Dragon. Go to Lucha-Masks.com and fight Lucha Strong with masks from your favorite Lucha legends and Pro Wrestling Revolution luchadores. Stay safe in style and represent your favorite luchador. Get yours now at Lucha-Masks.com, powered by Pro Wrestling Revolution.
This is your boy Kenny Killer telling you to make sure you check out thechairshot.com, bringing you breaking news, interviews, podcasts galore, everything pro wrestling. Make sure you check it out, thechairshot.com.
Okay. Thank you to all of our sponsors. You all are lovely, lovely sponsors. I don't know if everyone's ever said they're lovely, but
I have now.
that's okay. So, real quick before we get into our final topic, we got to do something we just started last week, which is the item of the week. For those of you who are watching on YouTube, that means I get to show you one of the lovely items around me that's part of my office. For those of you who are not watching on YouTube, go ahead, stop what you're listening to. Go ahead and go to the Chairshot's YouTube and then just catch up on the YouTube channel and with this episode, because you always want to tune into item of the week. We get to share fun little items with you, just let you know what happens, what's happening behind this, all of that,
All of it, the whole thing.
So the whole.
It's gonna be really funny in like 6 months from now. The item of the week's gonna be like, so I got this microphone right here.
Yeah, this microphone here. This highlighter. This,
Got this pen that I used to take notes, although I haven't taken any notes today. So.
No, who knows? He needs notes. Notes are for nerds.
Empty Diet Pepsi can. Because as I did during the commercial break, I'm out of drinks.
Yes.
I've consumed them all.
Yes.
The glass is empty. So it was here yesterday.
So, I have some wrestling items behind me, but there's some non-wrestling items behind me as well. And I'm going to go with a non-wrestling item today. Last week I did this here, my big old belt, plastic belt right here. And because I talked about her earlier, this is a gift from my other best friend who provided this little book to me earlier this year for my birthday. Time to Wind Down. And it's a fancy book. It looks like a children's book, but it's not. It has a list of wines here. And then you take this. Look at this. You take this out, and it becomes a coaster.
Coaster? What?
I know.
What?
And you can put it back in. And so here for Pinot Grigio, they have some characteristics of it, and then it also pairs well with certain foods. So, I usually just grab what's affordable and what I like, but now that I have this handy little nifty guide, I can reference that with some pairings. So
I want a picture on Instagram of you at Walmart in the wine section looking at this book.
Yes, looking at this flip book, being like, okay, Chardonnay with chicken. Does that mean I'm going to get a bottle of wine and a rotisserie chicken? And that
would be so funny. It'd be like, sliding like 3 or 4 pictures. First, you're looking at the book. Then you got the Chardonnay. Then you're like, and then they're out of rotisserie chickens. And you're like, oh, it's
no, but they can't be out of rotisserie chickens. I need my rotisserie chickens and Chardonnay.
Right?
Yes. So
on page 2.
That is my item of the week. Greg, do you have an item of the week?
I have an item of the week. So this item of the week I'm excited about. This item of the week has come up before. It's been a part of multiple podcasts. However, never a video podcast. It's been a part of our video before, but never a part of everyone else's. So this is Maurice, the Judgmental Meerkat. You've heard of him. You love him. Maurice was a gift from my daughter that she literally, for Father's Day a few years ago, we were at the zoo. Back when we had a zoo membership, because now that my kids are 14 and 12, we don't need a zoo membership. And it ain't open anyway because, COVID. She wanted to buy me something, and she wanted to buy me a meerkat with her own money. And she did buy me this meerkat with her own money. So this is Maurice, the Judgmental Meerkat. And plenty of times during the recording of multiple podcasts, he will just kind of look at you when you say something.
And judge me. Yes. Judgmental Meerkat. Yes, I remember Maurice. Get off my shit, bro.
Actually, he needs to look this way. It reverses.
Yeah.
So maybe next time one of the dogs is on the show, Maurice will just be like, you have a dog on your program. What's going on? But he is Maurice, the Judgmental Meerkat. And he's judging you right now, viewer.
He is. He's judging me for so many reasons.
He's judging the viewer, too. He's judging the listener for not viewing. And because he should be seen according to him. Okay. That's Maurice.
And that is the item of the week. Now, for our final topic, we've been teasing about this all week, so we're just going to let it out. We're just going to let it out.
Yes.
When I was writing the titles for my own rundown, it's just for me, not for Greg. I don't share a rundown with Greg. I just tell him what
you sure don't.
I was writing this down. The title of this was Retribution, and I was trying to think of a fancy title or a funny title. And really, the first three letters, only three letters that came out was WTF. What are we doing here? What are we doing? So just yesterday on Monday Night Raw, we finally got, there'd been a lot of speculation as to who was part of Retribution, but this week we actually heard them. We heard their real voices. And even though they still wore masks, we ended up getting to know who the 5 members of Retribution are. And with that, some new names came that you just wonder, you just really wonder what is going on. So the 5 members of Retribution, and I have to make sure I get this right, as far as I know, there's one I still always forget. But
that's Shane Thorne.
Shane Thorne. I know. I love how you. That's probably the name that's actually going to benefit most from this, which is still kind of strange.
I don't know.
Shane Thorne, of course, we had, oh my God, the DL, Dominic Dijakovic, and interesting is, of course, make it all, mysterious is Ed faction. So we have Mercedes Martinez and Mia Yim as part of Retribution. And so with that, they announced also that Retribution has been signed to contracts, because people who destroy your building get signed to contracts. I don't know. I've had jobs before, but I never got a job by destroying someone's property. Have you?
Yeah, I don't believe I have.
Yeah.
Last week we sung the praises of Adam Pearce. Now Retribution gets contracts. Like, what are we doing here?
What are we doing? Is this really Adam Pearce's fault?
Probably not.
Do this?
Since, they've all been under contract for years, except Mercedes Martinez, who signed earlier this year. But we're not stupid. Come on.
And they talk about getting their, we just saw you all in NXT. Well, maybe not you, Shane, and maybe not you, Dio. But
we saw Shane in NXT. He was
a little bit. Yeah.
We even saw
that I get.
We even saw him on Raw teaming with, I don't even remember the guy's name now, and losing. You're going to be okay.
So that's not, I know. It's getting me so choked up here. And on top of that, so Dio, Shane, and Dominic now also have new names. New names that were announced. Their new names. I don't know whose name is who off the top of my head.
I do.
Okay, so go ahead.
So Shane Thorne is now Slapjack. And look, the WWE's Twitter even made fun of it. The WWE's Twitter even had a graphic of Bobby Lashley giving Shane Thorne a flapjack, and it said, "Oh, look, a flapjack for Slapjack." Like, it literally said that on WWE's Twitter.
If your own company's making fun of you?
Because it's a comedy act. We just don't know it. So Shane Thorne is Slapjack. Dio Madden is Mace. I don't know why. And Dominic Dijakovic is T-Bar.
He's T-Bar.
He's T-Bar.
So,
because we walked into the gym portion of the performance center.
Really, that's all they had. They saw
a little
Slapjack.
machine where you put the weights on to work out your back, and said, "That's a T-bar. We're gonna call you T-bar."
Yeah. I just don't get it. There was a lot of potential. We talked about this just a few weeks on the show. Elements that I thought could have worked well for them, escalating it, taking to the next level. But it actually feels like they plateaued at the very beginning. They peaked and then they went down.
Downhill.
It's all downhill from here. They did share more about their message in their promo about, as all these other superstars, of course they call them superstars, all these other superstars coming and collecting their money like whores. But now you have a contract. So what does that make you? Does that make you a whore now? I'm just trying to understand the logic of this.
It would have been better if they outed themselves as talent from NXT who never got a shot. Like,
yeah,
it was so simple and it was so easy, and we screwed the whole thing up.
And
we did. And there's still 15 of them by the end of Raw.
I know. Where are these other ones coming from? It's like that's a real villainous trait. Like, that's a real, like, when you think about archetype villain, you have all your little, like, stooges type of, henchmen come and back you up. But
really ripping off the Dark Order.
Oh, and the Dark
Order. You're the dumb order, okay?
Yeah, I was going to say the Dark Order the Dark Order had some trials and tribulations, but they got better. Like, they got better, and this is just going nowhere. So let's go back to the names, because I said this. I've seen multiple people reference this, because this really is what it reminds me of. It reminds many people of that scene from Dodgeball, when Ben Stiller's character is introducing his dodgeball team from Global Gym. And really, that's one of the most famous scenes, and that was better. The fact that they should have implemented this scene, but as he introduced, his team, you have Blade, Blazer, and his fitness congealers, Michelle, and really that was the vibe I got from this. It's like, yeah, T-Bar, Mace, and Slapjack. Like,
T-Bar, Mason.
And now that, and I don't know if this is new for this week, I just haven't noticed, but now they're having some lines of face paint on underneath their masks. So they still have the masks. They have some cuts and open, so you can kind of see a little bit more of who they are.
Because there was a sale on Bane masks at Spirit Halloween. That's why.
Bane mask, right? It's literally someone's wearing a Bane mask.
It looks like they bought that crap at the Halloween store. It really does. They probably did.
And poor Mia Yim, like, she struggled. I know you have your opinions about Mia Yim's promo work, but that mask did not help. She was more focused on trying to fix her mask, and that, I think, distracted her from her delivery of her promo. And really, it's just lost. It's all lost in the sauce. Now, I think that setting this up to be a program against the Hurt Business is its only saving grace, because the Hurt Business is great. As we just talked about a little while ago, they should just be lucky to be in the Hurt Business's presence at this point.
They should want to join the Hurt Business at this point.
Now, but, again, another storyline thing that makes me all of this unsure. You have Dominic Dijakovic and Mia Yim, who are the best friend and girlfriend of Keith Lee, who they attacked. So, like, why? Like,
because no one watches NXT in the minds of Vince McMahon. Like, literally, this is, and that's a true point. I had already reverted back to this. For a while, it was like, nope, it's no longer. Remember when AJ Styles, when the OC showed up at NXT and Tommaso Ciampa welcomed them to the main roster? No, NXT is still not the main roster. I'm sorry. This proves that, like, completely. Like, we know Keith Lee and Mia Yim are a thing because they were a thing on NXT. Now she, who doesn't have a name yet, is attacking Keith Lee, and we're supposed to pretend like we don't know. Dijakovic and Keith Lee have had battles of respect all over NXT and have bonded over this. And Keith Lee wanted to give the first double championship opportunity that he had at his disposal to Dominic Dijakovic, even though we all knew Dominic Dijakovic was sacrificed by Karrion Kross to build the program with Keith Lee that no one's going to remember in 2 years because of how short-lived it was. And now he's T-Bar doing a horrible Bane impersonation on Raw, and he hates Keith Lee because of everything Keith Lee represents. And so does Mia Yim, even though they live in the same apartment in Orlando.
And they all came from NXT. Like, I just...
Like, would it be better if they're spouting the fact that they weren't getting opportunities through NXT.
Yes,
They're mad
yeah.
at Keith Lee for that reason, because Keith Lee was handed some stuff when he went to Raw, and Keith Lee's backstage trying to be like, keep working, I know what you guys are capable of, and they're like, this is BS. And maybe even play up the fact that it's putting a strain on his relationship with Mia Yim. Like, I don't know. Hell of a freaking story.
Yeah,
like,
there's so many real elements to this that that they could go with, and instead they're doing, you know, a dumb movie version of it. So
it's the dumb order. I don't care that.
That's the new name.
Yes, I'm no longer calling them Retribution. I'm now calling them the Dumb Order.
Yes.
Listeners,
and now we will never say the word, you know, when we reference Retribution, it's always within Retribution.
Retribution.
Yes,
I'm going to see.
We're always going to use our inside voice for Retribution, because we're not going to justify raising our voices for something so ridiculous.
So dumb. It's just like now we have to use villain and hero instead of face and heel, except when, you know, it's a character trait. We also are adding to the vocabulary list Retribution.
Because it's that boring.
It's just dumb. It's just stupid. It just makes no sense. And maybe it's because I tell stories. Maybe it's because I'm somewhat responsible for these things. I don't know. But like, I look at it and hindsight's 20/20. And I hate when people go back after something has happened. And even in sports, they do it. They're like, oh, that head coach was stupid for calling that play. When had it worked, you'd be calling him brilliant. Like, hindsight's 20/20. Yeah. But sometimes it's just so obvious, Miranda. Like, it's so obvious what they should have done. And it's all right there for them. And I feel bad because I guarantee you there are writers and producers who are like, let's just play on the fact they came from NXT. And then there was Vince McMahon or somebody else who was like, no, let's not do that.
Put them in masks and face paint.
Put them in stupid masks and face paint, because that's what we do with everybody that we pull up from NXT that we don't want to succeed. And you know what? A year from now, Dijakovic's probably the only one on Raw, and he's probably wrestling under the name of Dijakovic. Like, this is going to be the kind of thing that goes away.
Now, they could start moving back up. First off, please do not give Mia and Mercedes dumb names. Just don't.
They're going.
You know.
How can you not? How can you have Slapjack, T-Bar, and Mace, and then have Mia and Mercedes? And you can't have Mercedes Martinez, because it's already been established that's Sasha Banks' real first name and Bayley's real last name. So it's just not going to work. Like, Bayley already outed that on Twitter. So she's not going to be Mercedes Martinez. She's probably going to be Spare Tire or Lugnut or I don't even know, like Alignment. I don't know what the hell she's going to be.
Crowbar.
But it's not going to be good. It can't be Crowbar. Please don't be Crowbar. Unless Crowbar is going to come in and manage them, and this is going to be the comedy faction that I want it to be at this point, because you might as well. Like, the Nexus, the core thinks this is bad, and no one remembers that the remaining members of the Nexus became the core.
Is like, oh God, thank God that wasn't us.
Like, somewhere Wade Barrett is in NXT laughing at this.
Yeah,
because he's probably like, I could have told you this is what was going to happen. Like the only thing that this is missing is John Cena for them to lose to.
And at this point, people would be so happy. Like,
they would be
like, where's John Cena? Please, John Cena, save us.
No one wants to take this group seriously at this point. They just don't. Do you? I don't.
No, there's nothing. No, there's nothing serious about them.
They're wearing jeans and hoodies. They're literally ripping off the worst part of every gimmick. They're ripping off the worst of the NWO by having all these members. They're ripping off the worst of Aces and Eights by wearing stupid things and the way they've been revealed. The worst of the Dark Order, which is all those other members that did nothing. The worst of the Shield, which is the cargo pants. Like, you're literally the worst of everything.
I mean, the Shield and Retribution, even just the name.
Yeah, remember when the Shield had stupid masks? You don't, because it only lasted a week. It was the week after WrestleMania 30 and maybe the WrestleMania 30 entrance, and they stopped because it was stupid. Dean Ambrose had the Bane mask, remember? No one liked that either. You know why? Because it was stupid. Literally everything about this is stupid. And you've got to be really freaking talented to excel out of this and to salvage your career out of this. And I'm sorry. Only Dominic Dijakovic and Mercedes Martinez are. And look, I'm calling spade a spade. She's 40. Okay? She doesn't have a whole lot of opportunity left. This is she's been wrestling for 20 years. This is her big opportunity. And next week, we're probably going to be calling her Flower Pot. I don't know what the hell we're going to be calling her, but it's just
Spark Plug.
Spark Plug.
They own that,
too.
right?
They do probably still own that. I don't know. They don't own Halloween Havoc, as we discovered, but it's just the whole thing. And I feel Mercedes Martinez got fired from the Robert Stone brand and basically had to take a lesser job in Retribution.
Yeah.
Like,
that's a demotion.
Who knew that getting fired from the Robert Stone brand would lead to a demotion? Like, going to Raw was a demotion for Mercedes Martinez. This is her big opportunity, and she's stuck in Retribution.
Yeah.
Mercedes Martinez, as someone who has nothing to do with any of this, I sincerely apologize to you on behalf of WWE for what they've done to the biggest opportunity that you've worked for.
We want to start a really big, like, get well card.
For someone who's not unwell. And here's the thing. Go back and watch the video while Mia Yim's cutting her promo, and you got Slapnuts going crazy over there, and you got Mace Bar doing whatever he has, and T-Pain and whatever. And then you have Mercedes Martinez off in the corner, and she looks sad. Go back and watch it. She does not want to be there.
She's been in this long enough to know.
Oh, she knows this is dead on arrival. She absolutely knows. And the only thing she can hope for is to get shipped off to SmackDown in the brand extension, or go back to NXT, or that Tony Khan offers her a contract like he offers everybody else who leaves WWE. So that's the most she can. And I feel so bad for her because she is so talented. And she is such a great representation of so many things, of being a minority, of being a Latina, of being a lesbian who's outed. She could do so much good, and she's wearing a mask as a member of Retribution, about to get a really stupid name.
Yeah.
How much worse could we do with this?
What? Don't tempt fate, Greg. Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
Because I just said this couldn't get any worse, and Monday's Raw said, hold my beer.
Don't you dare.
But hey, they're going to cost Drew McIntyre the WWE Championship on Sunday.
Yes. Well, it feels good to get that out of our systems. So, it feels good. Feels good. So that's our little mini therapy session for today. And let us know if you'd like to have, your session. Go ahead and share with us on social media your thoughts about Retribution, the new names, their masks, whatever, and if you actually truly like it, I think that's fair. If there's something you truly like about Retribution, I'm actually very interested in hearing that. What about it is interesting? Because
if you
don't, I'm trying to be civil here. I'm trying to allow people to share their opinions.
How I used to really ruffle some feathers on Twitter and really piss people off. I have been blocked in a while. So, because I haven't been that active on Twitter, because life's just really busy. I'm having to make multiple trips to the U-Haul place to pick up a refrigerator. Life's
your
busy.
Third refrigerator, I know. This is really what Retribution should be fighting.
Retribution.
The people with multiple refrigerators gloating on their podcast that they have so many refrigerators.
But here's the thing.
Most of us.
If you want me to get active on Twitter, if you want me to go back to being the old Greg DeMarco on Twitter, then go hit up @Chairshot Greg and tell me why Retribution's good. Because you will bring out the old Greg DeMarco on Twitter. And by the end of the day, I guarantee you will have blocked me.
Yeah, that is also true. He has 3 refrigerators and you will block him. Those are just facts.
You will block him.
Those are just facts. But really, yes, change the focus, Retribution, of your scope. Really be targeting, those that have just way too many refrigerators, and not all of us have refrigerators, as many as Greg does. So if they change their tune, I would be supporting them more on that, but they're not. So I just can't. It's not going to be for me. But anyways, Feel free to share with us on social media at the hashtag Miranda on Facebook and Instagram, at Chairshot Greg on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and at Chairshot Media on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And that means, well, we've ended, we've made it, we've reached it, we are done with another edition of the hashtag Miranda Show. A huge thank you to everyone who is listening and watching this. I am always appreciative, and thank you for everyone who listens, who supports the show, who supports the Chairshot.com and the podcasts that are part of the Chairshot Radio Network. This is just the highlight of my week, and I hope you guys enjoy it. As I mentioned, feel free to reach out to us on social media. Visit thechairshot.com. Go to prowrestlingtees.com/thechairshot and get your Chairshot t-shirt. And we'll be back next week doing this whole thing, as always. So for Greg DeMarco, I'm Miranda Morales, and make sure you always keep it soft style.
You're welcome.